back, or welcome to the Wicked Camper podcast. If you're new here, welcome. This is a safe space for everybody that loves paranormal stuff, paranormal investigations, horrors, and anything unfathomable just out there. Anything that you can't explain. And today we are having our very first guest on the show. He will be like our 001 guest, our hashtag 001 guest. If you've been to our second podcast, you are quite familiar with who he is by now. But for those who don't know him, our guest today is Joseph M. Lenard. He's an author, but today we are not speaking about books. We are going to talk about something he has stories to tell us about, and that is UFOs and aliens, if you can tell from the title. So let us just welcome our guest today. Joe, welcome.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. I thought they're supposed to be the happy camper.
we are happy campers, scared campers, believer
right.
campers, non-believer
That's
campers.
Right. Yeah, can't be the happy camper. We all know how wicked you are. So yeah.
We can't lack a couple of campers here who are happy. Some may be confused. Some don't even know how to feel. Anyway, Joe, how do we even introduce this episode? It's going to be wild. Speaking of UFOs and aliens.
Yeah. It's something I like talking about, but obviously, don't get too much chance. I've been on one or two other podcasts discussing it, and you never quite know where it's going to go. Mm-hmm. So I don't really have a great UFO story myself. I've got, some input into it, but when I was younger, when you're young, I mean, a whole lot of things are unidentified, right? So, I mean, they meet the definition by the definition. I live near an airport, so, was certainly used to airplanes going over and seeing that. But it was something that was not identifiable to me. Of course, that doesn't mean it's not identifiable to somebody else. And the more I think about it, looking back, I really would like it to have been aliens, but, it was probably a satellite, passing over in the day, getting the glimmer of the sun. But, it's one of those things. Who knows? You can't go back. You never know. Again, like I said, I'm going to hope it was aliens.
I'm sure they're out there somewhere, just they're good at hiding. That's what I can say. I think they're good at hiding. That's why we can't find them. Or when we're about to find them, just something weird happens. And then we can't say if it was a real sighting or not.
Yeah, but I to say you personally believe in UFOs. I mean, again, the very definition, or as they call them now, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. I mean, unless if you've got a laptop with you that tracks all those things that are up there that are man-made, and even then, obviously there are experimental craft in that wouldn't be listed on there. So there's bound to be unidentified things, whether or not indeed they are alien or interdimensional, or I made this term, intertimental, because, for time travelers, because it doesn't make sense to me to say time traveler when we use the word interdimensional. So to me, intertimental makes more sense as a phrase to use. And to me, I think it is indeed probably a combination of all those things. And before we get too much further, in case if there's fellow Christians out there tuning in, I'm born and raised a Catholic. You know, certain Christian sects cut certain things out of the Bible. So to me, there are people out there that are Christian that think you can't believe in aliens because it somehow isn't biblical. And to those people I say, how do you explain the Nephilim in Genesis? And Genesis does not say, and God created life on earth, and only on earth life created he. It doesn't say that. So the Bible does not preclude life elsewhere. And I also say to fellow Christians, what are angels? Right? Angels, we all agree, existed before the earth. So by definition, they are non-terrestrial. They are extraterrestrial, right? And then also, you know, Ezekiel saw the wheel. If you want to argue about that, you know, or Enoch. So I say to my fellow Christians, you can talk about aliens and interdimensional and interdimensional beings without somehow being anti-Christian.
Yeah, because when you check, there have been videos, I don't know if you have seen them, there have been videos that have been circulating, like a true description of angels, that, like, if you could describe angels as they were meant to be described as, and then there are these videos that were coming up, and then it is just this alien-looking thing with eyes all over, and it's an orb, and then something just came to me. That makes sense, because every time in the Bible an angel appears, they normally say, do not be afraid. Why would I be afraid if you looked human, though? Because if you looked human, I wouldn't be afraid. I'd think you're human. That means if an angel came and said, do not be afraid, it means that they do not look human. We just thought that they looked like that, but in reality, they're aliens.
Right. Well, they may have some human form or some human features, but I mean, we all have come to pretty much accept the wings, right? Michael the Archangel and them have wings. So, no human we know have wings. Now, are these physical wings or figurative wings or, you know, again, and not to make this about Christianity or anything, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to explain to even non-believers how you can approach a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, or, you know, anybody of faith and explain to them, again, the Bible does not say God only created life on earth, and we know other life existed because we all accept, in religion, we all accept angels. Like, I forget which astronaut it was in the Apollo missions that they saw angelic light beings around the Apollo craft. So, you know, so just because the Bible doesn't explicitly say something doesn't mean it explicitly excludes something. And there's going to be some people who will be upset with me, but, you know, humanity is like, we're like children. So, and here's going to come the upsetting part. The Bible is like a Dr. Seuss book. It's meant for children. You don't tell children everything, right? There's only certain things children can handle. Well, there's only certain things we as humans could handle back then. And once Jesus returns, if you're a Christian, and we get a New Testament, a Third Testament, then we'll probably be taught additional things because now humanity, all these thousands of years on, are ready for more information. We can handle more than what we could then. You know what I mean? It's like again, a child, you hand them Dr. Seuss, or you used to hand them Roald Dahl until they censored and changed the books. You may not want to bother with that crap anymore now that they've changed it. But you don't hand a 6-year-old, what is it, Tolstoy's War and Peace, right? They're not ready for it. They can't handle it. Their brain isn't formed. And we collectively as humanity, still aren't ready for some things. Some people believe, if there are indeed really aliens, I think we're ready for it. There's a whole lot of people that would disagree, which is why the government keeps it secret.
And speaking of government, back home in the United States, we have had 4 objects being shot down from the sky, 4 unidentified suspecting objects in the last 2 months. For me, that's even wild. How do you just find 4 unidentified objects in a matter of 60 days? One turns out to be a surveillance balloon from China, which I'm not quite convinced about, by the way. We have to stop blaming the Chinese for everything. If you see something in the sky, they're like, oh, it's the Russians, oh, it's the Chinese. Why can't another state just put something up there? And it has happened in January. I think the second one was also in January before another came into February on a Friday, and then on a Saturday they shot down another one. And I've been wondering, are they all just balloons that are surveillance balloons, or is the Pentagon just hiding things from us and telling us that the Chinese are trying to surveil us or something?
Well, even Trudeau in Canada, they shot something down too. But yeah, I mean, spy balloons are certainly a thing. Weather balloons, of course, are certainly a thing. I mean, not everybody that puts up a weather balloon has to inform the government. And it's not like a plane. You don't file a flight plan. Or you could say, hey, tell the FAA, yes, we're putting up a balloon and we expect it to go this way. But once it's up there, the air patterns take it. It can go anywhere. But yeah, the CCP spy balloon was definitely a real thing because it had some degree of propulsion and navigational control. It didn't just follow the air patterns, but we suspect one of those other ones, like you were talking about, was some weather club claims one of their balloons is missing. So they suspect that was one of the ones, maybe one of the ones shot down over Port Huron, or Lake Huron here, off the coast of Michigan. But the other 2 still supposedly are indeed completely identified. There's a great meme going around, about aliens in a spacecraft. And I forget exactly what it says, but, it's like, why are they shooting at us? What did we do to them? Or, why are they taking the Chinese spy balloon out on us? So, it's, kind of funny memes, but at the same time, very serious. I mean, I really think by now, I mean, after Roswell and other crashes of supposed alien or interdimensional or intertimental craft, from World War II on, there's been so many years. We have to, in my mind, have been able to reverse engineer those to some degree to potentially have some of these craft that are up there indeed being secret human craft. But these ones doing all these high-speed turns and that the human body can't handle are probably just unmanned craft. So, yeah, I firmly believe that some of it could be unmanned human test craft, and some indeed could be alien, interdimensional, or intertimental. Like the Foo Fighters during World War II, there's a whole lot of people who theorize that those are intertimental devices because, some people argued, well, maybe those were secret German weaponry. Well, if they were secret German weaponry, they wouldn't have just flown along with our bombers to blow the crap out of Germany. They would have done something to stop those planes from getting there and blowing up their homeland. So I think it's not an unreasonable theory that those are intertimental orbs, because I don't think they could all be ball lightning, because they seemed too controlled. I mean, they were flying right along with our planes. When our planes changed directions, they changed directions. Now, certainly, I think a lot of some of these unexplained orbs or craft is indeed ball lightning unexplained, because, we like to think we're so advanced, but there's still a whole lot we don't understand even about nature yet. And ball lightning is one of those things. We know about it now. We don't understand it, though.
Yeah. And on the topic of not understanding things, there's no way on this planet anybody can talk about aliens or UFOs without even mentioning Area 51. Because when I was doing research for this particular episode, I realized that the first sightings of stories of flying saucers like they were known in the past and alien abductions, it was in the 40s, that was 1947, all the way to 1969. And when you check when Area 51 was first built and operations began, it was 1955. So that was quite convenient. It was quite convenient that people started talking about UFOs and aliens in 1947, and then a couple of years later, in 1955, we have this secret air base that they're calling, it's a highly classified Air Force facility that turns out has even more secrets than any other air base in the planet.
Yeah, well, if you believe it, there's actually an even more secret one in Utah, but let's not go there. You know what? Sightings go back forever if you believe, like the ancient alien shows, and I love watching those. I met Stanton Friedman when I took a trip to Area 51. When I was married at the time, we were out in Vegas, and we took a tour to Area 51. Now, of course, you don't see a whole lot. We saw the infamous mailbox at the beginning of the road, and we even got lucky. While we were driving along the road to the gate, there was an Area 51 bus that went by. So there were, literally, obviously, employees being bussed onto the base. And then, of course, we hung out at the gate. And then after that, we stopped at the Little Alien Inn in Rachel, Nevada, and that's where we met Stanton Friedman, who's, one of the guys on the usual, alien shows in that. So that was neat. But, sightings go back centuries, right? The Hopi Indian, if you believe the hieroglyphs are actually alien beings painted on there. The Hopi talk about, their sky gods. And there's a great movie. I think it's great anyway. To me, it's so clever. It's got Daniel Craig in it, called Cowboys and Aliens. Have you heard of that one?
No.
I'll check it out. I highly recommend it because, being an author, being a writer, and understanding, finding a creative angle. And I don't know who directed it or produced it. I don't remember, but...
Yeah, I've just seen the director is Jean Favreau.
Oh, John Favreau, the same guy that did behind Iron Man. Yeah, that's right, John Favreau, right. And the reason why it's unique is a movie like this that takes a twist on an old theme is great, because when you think of the Native Americans, they talked about thunderbirds, birds that emitted flame, right? That's like an airplane before there were airplanes. So maybe those were alien craft, and that's the notion of cowboys and aliens back in, the Old West, and them encountering an actual thunderbird. So it's a very unique film. I enjoyed it. In fact, I think I might watch it later today.
I'll do that as well, and then I'll leave a review online so that everybody can see. But for this episode, Joe, I want us to take up an interesting turn when it comes to UFOs. We are going to do something I don't know if any other podcast does. If it does, thank you for doing this. But we are going to check out the best things YouTube, and that's Reddit. I find out that Reddit has a lot, and actually everything you might want to find out when it comes to paranormal investigations or let's say UFOs or even alien sightings. People just post images and videos, and we're going to check out some. I'll share my screen with you right now, but for those who are listening to us, you can check out the YouTube channel. I'll post those videos over there. I'll share those videos so that we can check. We see what people from around the world are actually saying about UFOs. Let me just...
Before I forget, I meant to say it before. Werner von Braun, the Nazi, that one of the several Nazis that came over under Operation Paperclip and helped form NASA and took us to the moon, said that eventually that the military-industrial complex would make up an alien threat as an excuse, of course, then to bilk us of more money and make more toys. And I certainly believe that because, if these aliens, interdimensional beings and intertimental beings were actually a threat to us over these last 7 decades or whatever, 8, 9 decades, maybe a century, we would have known it by now. If they thought we were a threat to them, they could have easily wiped us out long ago.
100%. Okay, now I've figured it out. I don't know if you can see my screen right now.
Yeah, it's kind of small, but I can see it. Let me make Skype a full-size window here. I'll see it a little better.
Yeah, we are on Reddit.
Okay.
Yeah, and for those who want to check the Reddit from themselves, you can check the subreddit, which is Aliens. I'll link the subreddit for you down below. But we are going to check out a couple of videos, Joe. I've realized that there was somebody who posted like 17 hours ago the video I'm showing you right now, and it has like 200 upvotes. I don't know what they saw. He's saying people should explain whatever he saw. He's not quite sure what's happening. But let us just check out the video and then we see what he's trying to show the world.
And the other thing to mention is obviously there's a lot of hoaxes, right? Especially nowadays with CGI and deep fake video and all that. So, so aliens, interdimensional, intertimental, and plenty of hoaxes.
If to anything paranormal, people are just trying to tell off things that are not true as facts. And I don't know, even some people are just trying to, like, simple things with simple scientific explanations. They're trying to say, like, oh, no, that's aliens. No, that's a ghost. No, that's something.
Well, especially nowadays with the fact, the guy that wrote the book Communion and, those people decades ago, there was that stigma. You didn't want to say you had an alien encounter because
Mhm.
everyone thought you were crazy. Times are different now, and people are more accepting, so people see they could create a hoax to get attention for themselves, whereas before, those people really didn't want attention. You know,
Yeah.
they felt odd. They knew they were odd. They were involved in something rare, and they were almost reluctant to share it. But again, today, most people are eager to because it's kind of a hip and in thing now.
Mhm. And that's social media, by the way. People are not realizing that, oh my God, everything is content. So whatever I find, I will video and share. Even if it's
Yeah.
an air balloon, I will video and share just in case it turns out to be it turns out to be an alien and I didn't capture it. Because by the way, if somebody ever manages to like capture a real sighting of a UFO or an alien, they can cash out real nice. They can cash out of that. Because I know the government will pay them a lot. My Wi-Fi guys that are trying to just ruin my day or something. They aren't fixing it. I've been calling and then they're like, oh, we apologize for the lag and all that.
Yeah,
But it
you
will
know
be
what?
all better.
It's the aliens. They don't want to be seen.
They are taking up all the
They're
energy.
destroying your bandwidth.
Yeah.
Either that or it's the government. It's the deep state.
That are taking up my Wi-Fi. I've started talking of UFOs, so they realize, oh, we have to stop her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I've shared with you the link with it. We can check it out together. You can just check the video from your side, and then I can check it from my side.
Okay, here we go. I'm clicking play. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you see that? He was off on a base somewhere, and then he saw that, like those lights over there.
Now, I would imagine someone would claim that those are flares.
Mhm.
All right. Now, at first blush, that would be a a plausible hypothesis.
Mhm.
But flares float. They don't sit still.
Yeah.
So unless if you're saying somehow those are flares and they're blowing horizontally,
Mhm.
so they look like they're stationary. That is the only plausible explanation other than controlled craft that we don't understand. Because
Mhm.
those do look pretty weird. They do look flareish, but again, let me go
And they
ahead and,
actually look orbish, but also orbs move. What I know
yeah.
about orbs move. They don't just stay still at one place.
So,
And you
and
also
again,
can't say it's like a plane or something because one, there's never a possibility that there'll be so many planes as such, and also light from plane moves. So
yeah, yeah, some of those are awfully close. Now, so a plausible thing is that those are flares and they're just floating horizontal, so you don't see the movement from that angle. But this is rather interesting because there are indeed so many of them, and
mhm.
some of them, they look pretty close proximity. So, if I were working for the government and given the task to explain away this video, it's a shame it isn't longer.
Yeah,
It's too short. I,
seconds. I wish they could
I,
have,
yeah,
or a
I
different
could,
angle of the same.
right. We need other angles. That's exactly right. We need somebody else of the same sighting from other angles to get
Mhm.
a better overall kind of 3D-ish, uh, a chance at, what this actually looks at from a 3D, from different angles. So I would think the government would definitely just say these are flares, and it's up to everybody in the audience to decide. And again, that's coming from somebody who believes in alien craft, but also at the same time I'm skeptical. Obviously, not everything we see is alien, and who knows, maybe this is something experimental our own government is doing, because like you said, this is near a base.
Yeah.
So
we can actually go back to the subreddit. There's another one, a similar, I think it's a different video, but it has 300 upvotes.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing here, so you'll
on the
have
right,
to give
on
me
your left side, there's a tab that says recents. Click it. That says r/aliens. On
this
recents. No, on the left side. Yeah,
right.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm with you.
Yeah, now there it is. That's the subreddit. And if you scroll down,
okay, that's the one we
that's
saw.
the one we've watched. Yeah. This is another one.
Okay, we could kind of see
a small light.
Yeah, slight
the side of a mountain.
Cigarish or saucer shaped. It looks like it's kind of, his camera's moving, but it looks like it's still.
Uh-huh.
Now, that could be something reflective on the mountain. If I'm going to play devil's advocate, right, just to play devil's advocate and be skeptical, because I want to see some alien stuff.
Yeah. Because if I were to answer that, I think it would. I don't know if people have seen this, but instead of weather balloons, they are weather planes. They're like really small and they move extremely slow. If you look elsewhere, you might think it's stagnant, but it's actually moving really slow. And they don't fly really high. They fly at a lower altitude than normal planes. So I think that because it's like a town in a mountainous area, I would say that is just a weathercraft.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, that's moving at a really slow speed.
Right, like drones. I mean, drones can move really slow.
Yeah.
Drones can hover. So, like, there was one on one of the, UFO shows that I was watching, and it was a really interesting video. It was along the U.S.-Mexican border, and it was something, it was moving, it appeared to be moving really quick, and it was steady, but they speculated, and I think they were probably right, that it was Mylar balloons that just got up, and they were being carried by the jet stream, because they were traveling in such a straight line. There was no movement. The alien, like this, that seems to just be sitting there and not moving. So it's hard to, now here's like an orb thing. But yeah, now craft that moves and make hard turns and then zip up into the air at G-forces that humans can't handle, those to me are the best believable ones, because again, we can't fly craft like that because human beings can't handle it. But like I said, we now probably, after all these years, have some unmanned craft that could do that. But obviously, we couldn't have done it 50 years ago.
But let's check our next video. You can see that the light is actually in the sky and it's blue.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Because when it begins, I thought it was a shot from above facing the ground, but now I realize it's a shot towards the sky.
Yeah. Now let me be devil's advocate and skeptic again and say it looks cloudy. That could very easily be laser pointers.
Yeah.
On the cloud. So
Like a
I'm
bat
not all that
signal of some
impressed.
kind.
Yeah, I'm not. You're talking to somebody in another show when we talk about orbs. I'll give my orb story. I've actually seen orbs.
Hmm.
So, and again, we mentioned the Foo Fighters,
Yeah.
orbs. So it's certainly something I believe in. All right, let's click the sound.
Okay, this one is similar to the first one, or it's just like a cluster of light moving. The first
That
one was
rem-
stagnant, but this one is moving.
yeah, this reminds me of the Phoenix lights, or the kind of most infamous light like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, now he just said drones. Indeed, yeah, that could be drones, I suppose. Because, I mean, there are companies now that literally, there
But
are
those are so,
companies,
if they were drones, those are just a little too many.
well, I
One
was
or
just
two is
starting to
fine,
say,
but a
there are
couple of them.
literal companies now you can hire that will take dozens of drones.
Yeah,
They are coordinated by computer to fly up and make
patterns
words,
and yeah,
patterns and words, and you could wish somebody a happy birthday or will you
yeah.
marry me?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah,
But I wonder who
so
went to so much trouble hiring a couple of drones instead of a whole lot of them, just for them to
well,
fly
if
above
you want,
people's homes and freak them out.
yeah, if you want to fake UFOs, that's what you do. So, it it's harder to buy these kind of videos now because of that.
Hmm.
But videos from 20, 30 years ago, obviously the videos aren't as high a quality because we have high definition cameras today.
Hmm.
But back then, we didn't have drones to explain away or to fake it. You had, if you wanted to fake it, then you had to try to take the fish line and some object and try to shine light on it and hope that the
Hmm.
fish line didn't show. So obviously there were hoax then, but videos from 20, 30 years ago are harder to explain away than what we see today because we know drones. I mean, anyone can buy drones at the
Hmm.
local Walmart nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, we can just check out another video because I'm pretty sure that people just whatever they find online. But the weird and also good thing about Reddit is that 1 out of 10 of these videos will leave you questioning whether it's actually fiction or it's actually real because when it comes to paranormals, you'll find out that Reddit has a lot of them. A lot of fakes, a lot of hoaxes, but when it comes to aliens, it's something that you can figure out to place a reason behind what you're doing right now. But
right.
some videos I'm just like, ooh, like the first one, I
Yeah,
can't actually say what
right.
it
Now, like
could
this
be.
one says 1998, so it was a few years ago, but it looks like we're looking at water. Yeah, we're looking at a pool. What are we
A
supposed
very
to see
old
here?
pool.
Yeah, I'm going to fast forward a bit. There we go. Yeah, get to the substance. Okay, see, now that could be a balloon. That
Yeah.
could be an experimental aircraft.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that could, be a CGI hoax even. Okay, see, it's coming more. You know what?
Okay,
More
it's
and more I
coming too
look,
close, so this
it,
could be CGI.
to me, it looks like a party balloon.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it does. As it gets like
A mylar
a silver
balloon.
balloon.
Yeah. Or like you said, now it's really looking like CGI fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, look,
my.
he's a cartoon.
I actually thought we were watching something real.
We got suckered on that one.
They had us there for a second.
But yeah, all right, I'm going to end my screen share. All right, but in all seriousness, it's actually kind of good to end on that. That's kind of funny. Yeah, we kind of got suckered there, but
We
in
fell
all
into it.
seriousness, I'll say it again. I really think there probably are aliens. And again, if there's anybody tuning late and you happen to be religious, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, none of it says God created life on earth and only on earth created life he. It doesn't say that. So you can be religious and still accept the potential of aliens.
Yeah, and because even scientists, if scientists had the space in their mind to just believe in aliens, because you find like people like Stephen Hawking. Hawking actually believed in the whole thing about the universe being wide and us being the lesser organisms in this universe, because you find out that he says that if there is a possibility that there are aliens, there's a higher chance that they are smarter than us, they are more advanced than us.
Oh, absolutely.
And now we are not observing them, but they are observing us. That's why we can't see them.
Yeah. But again, if they were a threat to us, if they thought we were a threat to them, or if we were, basically their cattle, I think we would have known it on a much wider scale by now.
Yeah, and there could be like warning signs and things like that, like actual danger warning signs. Because whatever signs we have is just human signs, like country to country, not very far, satellite to satellite. We are not having like things from beyond our solar system. Nothing beyond our solar system.
Well, it's like the movie Independence Day, right? If we
Yeah.
were really a threat, if some of these craft that are supposedly up there triangular and, as big as several football fields, think of like Battlestar Galactica, right? Now, a lot of these people say that these craft are too small to probably be, interstellar. They just seem too small. And I kind of agree with that theory, which is why they think maybe interdimensional. It would still probably take a ton of energy to break a dimensional barrier, but actually in theory, it's easier probably to break a time or dimension barrier than it is trillions or quadrillions or gazillions of miles of space of that void, unless, of course, we accept the issue of wormhole travel. Or the other one, if I was going for Battlestar Galactica. These little things we see are actually ships coming out of a bigger mothership, like Independence Day, right?
Yeah.
If you remember that movie. And again, if they wanted to kill us, they probably could.
Yeah, they actually would, because we wouldn't have any defenses. Whatever we have right now is very minimal to what they could possibly come up with.
Yeah.
Because when you come to think of it, actually, there was this theory that we did not come up with math. We just discovered math. Math was already existing. We just realized that math is existing, and now everything is coming into light, including science. We never discovered anything when it comes to science. It was there. We just had to find it. Because you find out that if things can travel faster than light itself, and everything is made of dark matter out there, it's not actually made of light, it's made of dark matter. If the aliens were to come, we wouldn't see them coming. They'd just be there. They could be traveling at a very small space and just traveling very slowly, maybe using time warps, and we wouldn't even know. And then just one day, boom, they're here. And then they're like, hi, guys, we've arrived.
Yeah. Again, there's so much. we've come a long way from the Stone Age, obviously, but clearly we are a long way away from where we know we are going to be 1,000 years from now. And if we manage to survive 10,000 years from now. And like you mentioned, Hawking's, I mean, again, angels existed before the earth. So other beings could have existed long before the earth too, which means indeed they've had Lord knows how long to develop beyond what we are. So, yeah, and since we're mentioning movies, we mentioned Cowboys and Aliens.
Interstellar as well.
Oh,
Independence Day.
I love Contact with Jodie Foster. That's a great movie. I saw one a couple months ago called Childhood's End. You can catch it on Tubi, I think, the free streaming service. Childhood's End. It's a really good movie with an interesting twist at the end. I love that. And, Roland Emmerich is the guy behind Independence Day. He's also the guy behind Stargate, my favorite TV series of all time. He's got a recent one called Moonfall, which is also about have you heard of the hollow moon theory?
No, not yet.
Because when we went to the moon, a couple of the tests we did was to drop the Apollo craft after returning to the return to Earth vehicle. I'm drawing a blank on what that's called, but then we would drop the lunar module back onto the moon, and it rang like a bell. So it's theorized that actually the moon is hollow. And so there's the theory that that's actually an orbital structure put there by aliens. And that's what the movie Moonfall explores. And it's a lot of fun. I like those kind of movies. I like that, kind of thinking. But again, we're still but children. We've got a long way to go to learn a whole lot more that we don't know yet.
Yeah. I've actually checked Moonfall. I've just realized that I did watch it.
Oh?
I just didn't know the name of the show.
Yeah, it's got Halle Berry in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just realized, I remember watching this, and then I was like, wait, that actually makes so much sense, because we only know about the surface of the moon, not what the moon really is. We just know it just goes around us.
Yeah, and we just know it's not made. We know it's not made out of cheese.
Yeah. Took a while to know that. You grow up knowing the moon is a big ball of cheese. And it's not white. It's not yellow cheese. It's white. It's just white cheddar cheese for some reason.
White cheddar, right? Yeah. I bet it would make a good pizza, huh?
It would be very good aged cheese, actually.
Anyway.
But
do you have anywhere else you want to go with this episode, or we kind of beat this dead horse?
I think we just covered about whatever we might need to cover for now. But the good thing is that we are gonna get surprises this whole year when it comes to UFOs. I'm sure there'll be something somewhere, or someone who just claimed they've seen something big, and then the government will intersect, and then they're like, nope, just another weather balloon. Keep calm, just another weather balloon, guys. But if there's anything you'd like to add, you can just add it for the campers out there.
S'mores. Don't forget, this is a campfire broadcast. You got to have some s'mores.
Absolutely. You can never have too many s'mores. There's nothing like that.
Yeah. I'm so unhappy with the Hershey company, because do you remember a few years ago, they came out with a new candy bar called the S'more, and I love those. but they only lasted for like a year. I love those. I wish they would bring those back.
It was like a limited edition kind of candy bar where you just have
Yeah.
it once and then it's gone. Or maybe it was
I
experimentation. They were trying to experiment with the market or something.
yeah,
And then I realized now.
I put on quite a few pounds that year because I was eating them like crazy.
Oh my, but s'mores are a delicacy. And here on Wicked Campfire Podcast, if you don't have s'mores every single time you listen to, you know what you're doing. I don't know if you're a true camper. A true camper always has s'mores on the go. S'mores are good for your heart.
Okay.
Yeah, but we will end this episode on that note, but I'm sure you'll be back here with more. Not necessarily about UFOs. You'll be here for another episode. For those who are not aware, he will be joining us every single Friday episode. In March, we have Joe with us. Next week is another discussion. The other is a different story. The other one, a different one. And if you like Joe's stories, by the way, just go to his social media page, check out his books, comment, and you can throw him a story or two. You can also throw me a story or two, by the way, and you can just feature it on this podcast. Because next week we are talking about orbs, if I'm not wrong. Orbs and paranormal experiences.
I was just going to say that. I've got written down, we mentioned orbs briefly today, but next week will be dedicated mainly to orbs. Yeah,
purely to orbs. So tune in. Come with your stories, come with your comments. We'll be here to listen. And today's episode will also be available on YouTube because of the Reddit videos. So subscribe, follow, depending on where you're listening from. Check out Joseph M. Lenard. His books are on Amazon. That's Terror Strikes and How to Write and Get Published. I'll link them below. And it's Joseph M. Lenard, guys, not Joseph Lenard. Those are two different people on Amazon. Those are two different guys. Our guest is Joseph M. Lenard, but we call him Joe here on Wicked Campfire on Kerala Podcast as well. But have a good night, y'all. If you've listened to this episode, we love you so much, and we can't wait to hear from you. Bye.
Bye-bye.